Hi guys, thank you for all of your feedback on my Q&A video. It's been pretty cool answering all these questions. I have some pretty cool questions, pretty cool answers, and I have so many that I'm not going to record them all at once. I'm going to start a bit here in Maine, I believe this is, and then move from server to server just to make things a little bit more interesting. But let's get started with the first few questions. First question is, how old are you? I am 20 years old. I've historically told people that I'm double digits, and they laugh, and that's fine. But I'll give you a clear answer now. What is your favorite food? My favorite fruit is watermelon. I think watermelon is the best thing ever, aside from lapis, especially during the summer when it's actually good and not the crap they serve in dining halls now. What is the reason for your IGN? So my IGN was, when I first made a Minecraft account, I was just looking for a kind of arbitrary one. I wasn't really thinking very much about it, because I never expected myself to play online. I found I made myself a single-player world, and I was perfectly happy there, and I figured I'd never start playing online. So I didn't really care that my username was my name, but when I discovered MCPP, it's a long story, but I decided to keep my IGN just because that was my original one. What is the first server you were ever moderator on? I was first mod on Hunger Games. That was back in January, almost a year ago now. Wow, it's been quite a lot of time. Then I got Smash in March, I believe, and then website. I started doing your hacker reports in around June, I think, on the website, and then primary on August something. I can't remember the date. Next question is, how many players do you ban per day? That actually varies a great deal depending on how busy I am, but I would say on average per day it's somewhere between 10 and 30. In the past month I've banned a little over 700 people. That number has ranged from anywhere from 300 to a little bit over 1,000 one month. My personal record is 94 bans in a day. I think that was the day after I got mod on hardcore servers, because there were a lot of X-rayers back then. Not enough people play now to have a significant number, but that might change when 1.7 comes out. What's with all the zucchini? It's actually a pretty funny story, and I've never really explained it fully. I was in this chemistry class, and we were doing this extremely boring research paper. We pretty much had to go out and get some soil and analyze it and figure out what's in it. And that might sound a little bit fun, but seriously, it's like you put it in a machine, it's like, oh, your soil has phosphorus in it. We're like, yeah, no kidding, Sherlock. Anyway, I was at page 5 of this really dumb research paper, and I was getting bored, and I would imagine that my TA, who was supposed to read 30 of these things, was probably extremely bored. So I decided to have a little fun, and I put this picture of zucchini in there and called it Table 2, and I said, this is I put this in here for formatting reasons, don't ask. I'll actually put a picture of my research paper in the description of this video because I thought it was pretty funny. And she didn't take points off, that's a good thing, so maybe I pleased her. When did you join MCPP? I joined May 17th, 2012, so it's been a year and a half now. Next question is a little bit disturbing. This question is, do you love Romeo? Somebody has been stalking me and knows the name of my cat. My cat is Romeo. And yes, absolutely, I do love him because he is a cat and because he is smushy. What is your Skype? The answer to this question is no. I do not give out my Skype to people unless I have a very specific reason for adding them. Usually that's, I'll notice they've been doing a lot of hacker reports or something, and I'll add them for that purpose. Or I know them personally, or through, other staff members or whatever. Do you like cheese? No, I do not like cheese. That's actually probably I'm not a picky eater in general, but cheese is my one thing I just don't do. I don't do cheese. Pizza's okay, though, because pizza's pizza. Unless it has weird cheese, like Parmesan and, Asiago and all that stuff, it smells weird. How did you get mod? That's actually a pretty interesting story. I'm going to hold off on that for now, because I think I'm going to make a whole different video about becoming mod, all that sort of stuff, because people have a lot of questions about that, and I don't think I could do justice to that question just in the amount of time I have. So I'm going to skip that question for now. How many hours per day do you spend on MCPP? I actually have no idea. I would be interested in seeing statistics about that, but I honestly have no idea. As far as actual in-game time, it's probably not that much, because when I go into a server, I have a very specific intention, and that's to ban people. So if I get a report of someone in the server, I'll go on the server, check them out. That probably won't take more than about 30 seconds, and then I'll be off again. But I spend a lot of time on Skype, just kind of being there for people if they need reports and stuff. Sometimes I'm doing both MCPP and other stuff at the same time, so I don't know if I could give you a straight answer for that. What's your favorite subject in school? I only have one answer for this, and that's English, because I literally just a few days ago switched into the English major program. I'm going to get teaching credentials for public high schools for English, and I think that's what I'm doing now. So I like English. I like other subjects too. I've had a lot of interests. I started out in college as pre-medicine. I wanted to go into medicine and stuff, and I realized that organic chemistry was just really hard, and I wasn't really thriving in that program, so I decided to switch. What's your favorite animal? I have a lot of favorite animals. I love nature. Believe it or not, I do spend quite a great deal of time outside, especially during the summer. I would say... I'll give you an answer that you're probably not going to expect. I had pet rats for a very long time, probably 10 plus years as a younger kid rather, and that was a great deal of fun. They're really funny, and you can't know it until you've actually met some, because pet rats are really charming. And if you're in high school or middle school or whatever, and you're looking for a pet that will last a few years, they usually don't live past 2 or 3, but they're a lot of fun. And they're really smart too, so you can train them to do stuff. Do you live in the USA? Yes, I live in the USA. In fact, I've never been out of the USA except once, and that was to Canada, and it was kind of an accident because our compass was broken. What are my favorite games other than Minecraft? I would say that right now the only game I play is Minecraft. It's been that way for a long time now. Until, I think, early 2012, I played RuneScape. That's an online MMO. It's really popular. It was fun for a while. I played it for 4 years, I think. But all in all, I think it was a pretty big waste of time, because as far as... I reached a point where I was kind of done playing. I didn't really want to play, but I wanted to be staff on there. So it was kind of this weird situation where I was playing not because I wanted to play, but because I wanted to be staff. And it was kind of pointless. What is your favorite color? Purple. I like purple, and that has nothing to do with my name, the fact that my name is purple. I actually liked purple to begin with. Do you like clam chowder? No, I do not like clam chowder. I do not trust things which involve clams / mollusks / all that stuff. I know sushi's probably delicious, but I've never tried it. I'm pretty paranoid about food poisoning and stuff, and how, some seafood tends to be undercooked or contaminated with stuff. I just don't want to risk it. Favorite? Oh, this is a good question. Shout out to, I think it was Angela the Herbalist who sent me this question, whose name, incidentally, is also awesome, based on where it comes from. What is your favorite Monty Python sketch / movie, and what's the first sketch or movie you've seen? I'm pretty sure that the first Monty Python movie I saw was Holy Grail, and that honestly that's the best thing ever. That's probably my favorite recording ever from Monty Python. It's just classic. It's hilarious every time. I can laugh for hours, and even if I watch it twice, it's just funny the next time. I think my favorite sketch, I have a lot of favorite sketches. I'd recommend watching these. They're all on YouTube. The Dead Parrot sketch is hilarious. Self-defense against fresh fruit. Some of their court scenes are, the humor is a little bit more adult, but I still find it really funny. I'm sure there are others I could think of. Let's see. Non-illegal burglary, that's funny. Just find a Monty Python sketch, and then in the video recommendations, you'll see 100 different recommendations, and just click on all of them and watch them all. It's hilarious. You could spend a day doing that. Chinese or Japanese food? I can't honestly make a decision here, because the only Chinese food I've ever had has been Chinese American food, which is pretty much just like arbitrary meat covered with arbitrary sauce. And I don't think I have tried legitimate Japanese food or even Japanese American food. So I like Chinese American food, but when I go to China, or if I go to China, I plan on traveling the world eventually, but not now. I will let you know. Another question is, why won't you make me a mod? That's a pretty silly question because I am not an admin and therefore cannot make you mod. Was this the second comment? No, it was the third comment. Have you ever spoken with the owner of MCPP personally? Yes, I have on multiple occasions. As has everybody else who has attended the mod meetings, which we have every 2 to 3 weeks. That's a new development since the whole massive tunes thing, and I think it's a pretty significant improvement to MCPP. I was very pleased when we decided to start doing that. Corbs Cool has requested a shout out, so shout out to Corbs Cool. Did you know that John Cleese played Nearly Headless Nick in the Harry Potter movies? No, I did not know that, but I am thrilled to know that because that's amazing. John Cleese is awesome. He's still alive, and I think he lives fairly close to where I used to live. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Elgin Bear, yes. No, Sim, actually. Good question here. Do you like pink cats flying in lapis rainbow? Okay, so the answer to that question should be obvious because there is lapis in that answer, in that question, and I like lapis, therefore I like pink cats flying in a lapis rainbow. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that I like pink cats. In fact, you could ask me if I like Rush Limbo flying in a lapis rainbow, and I would say yes, because lapis. I mean, it overrides everything. What are you most proud of inside or outside of MCPP? I'd say that what I'm most proud of, believe it or not, is actually not something related to MCPP. A couple years ago, I was looking through YouTube. I play piano. I've played for about 12 years now, and I was looking through various piano pieces, and I found one that sounded really awesome. And it was really difficult too, but I thought I could do it. And I showed it to my piano teacher, and she said, I'm nuts because it was completely beyond my ability level, and she was absolutely right. But what I'm most proud of is the fact that I stuck with it anyway, and I learned it, and I played it in a recital. I'm going to send you a link to what this piece sounds like when a professional plays it. Keep in mind that's, this is many, many times as well played as what I actually played. It didn't sound that good when I played it, but it might be worth seeing. Will you ever play with your subscribers? The reason why I haven't really been playing with my subscribers is that I don't do live streams. If I did live streams, I would probably play with them a bit more. I do only occasionally now, and it's not because they're subscribers, it's because, it's like I feel like playing and so do they. But maybe that's something to think about in the future. Why did you ban me for no reason? Interestingly, I looked up your ban reason. I'm not going to say the name just to prevent, just so that I don't want to be mean. But I looked up your ban reason. It did not say for no reason. So the assumption that I banned you for no reason is false. Have you ever seen Shark Nobo? I have no idea what that is, so chances are I have not seen it. Why did you recommend Little Mystic as mod? I recommended Mystic because a big part of it was the fact that he had over 100 cheater reports on our website, and I think about 80 to 90% of those were accepted, and that's a fantastic rate. Most people have around 50% if they're sending in videos, so that's really amazing, and deserves recognition regardless of whether it makes somebody staff or not. I also thought he was was a pretty cool guy. He seemed like he was mature, and he passed his trial. He passed his trial really quickly, so I'm guessing that my recommendation was worthwhile. I don't recommend people that often, but when I do, I really mean it, I think I've only recommended a couple people in the past couple months. If you had never found MCPP, where would you be right now? If you say where, I would probably still be here, exactly where I am. As far as playing other games, though, I think either I would be playing RuneScape, which I kind of doubt because I was getting bored with that anyway, or I would have quit gaming altogether. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I would play Minecraft on occasion in single player, but I don't think I would still be gaming if I hadn't found MCPP. A lot of people keep asking me about this hacker report chat I do, and I made an announcement on the forums, but I'm not really accepting applications for that anymore because we have so many people now. It's great. It's pretty much if you report a lot of hackers, I'll invite you, and you get to be in this chat, and you can just say, there's a hacker in, whatever server, A1.us Hunger Games, and there'll be, there are a lot of mods in the chat, so somebody will come and take a look at it. It's a pretty nifty system, and that way you don't have to record and upload videos, unless nobody's there. If I sent you pie in the mail, would you eat it? It depends. If it looked like the pie had been tampered with, like opened up and like there was weird stuff on it, probably not. But if it was just like a pie and it was clearly not open, I mean, totally, of course I would. Also, I don't think I have a mailbox here. But if you managed to give me a pie, I would absolutely take it. Do you remember me? Yes, I remember you, pie troopers. What is the bail and bait method? Okay, so I'm actually not going to explain what that is. That was Kondrox and my secret strategy for winning Hunger Games. It was extremely effective, especially when you had those 400-person Brazilian stream teams and stuff to deal with. It worked for us so well, and I feel like if I give that secret away, it's not even going to be fair for people anymore, because people simply won't be able to beat us, or whoever uses that. And then, you'll have this weird paradox if somebody else comes and uses it against you and you're using it too. It's like, I don't know what would happen then, because both people somehow have to win. So there must be there would be a bug in Hunger Games which would allow both people to win, in other words. So I'm not going to tell you how that works. It's amazing, though. If a tree is 123 meters tall, the bin is 75% full, and the grass is 3 centimeters high, what time of day is it? The answer to that depends where you are, because if you're in the UK, it'll be one time a day. If you're in the US, different time of day. Will you ever do trivia competitions again? I guess I sort of started work on one with a few other people, but that was a long time ago. I don't think I'm going to do those again in the near future. One reason is that my Hunger Games trivia is kind of lacking at this point because I don't play as much. Whenever the new kits come out, people discover bugs with them a lot faster than I do and stuff. Maybe. I mean, it's a possibility, but probably not. Is it hard being a mod? I wouldn't say so. I think once you're staff, it's fairly easy to remain staff. You just have to not do anything really stupid and get yourself demoted. Trial mod is more difficult because they're a little bit more stringent about the standards there. Sometimes people get annoying about denying reports and stuff, and I just tell them, look, I'm using my own judgment. It's my right to use my judgment. You don't have to, worry about it too much. And most people listen. What does the elephant say? No, that was 2 weeks ago. We need a new mass meme, new fad. Do you like doing hacker reports? I wouldn't. I mean, does anybody really like doing hacker reports? It's the kind of thing that if they don't get done, people complain, and they have a right to complain because somebody should do them. And I mean, if people, there was a stretch when there weren't very many people doing them at all, and there were a whole lot of reports. So I just kind of got used to the habit. This is a good question. I like this question. If you were to write a book which hooked people from the very start, what would be the first line? And I think if I were to write a book that hooked people from the very first line, I would have to refer back to probably the best song lyric ever. And this is a song. I'm not going to tell you what the song is because it's definitely not PG-13. But this is something that I discovered when I Googled Aunt Phyllis, try to figure out who the heck that is, because people keep talking about Aunt Phyllis on the forums. The song lyric was, "It started out as a romantic evening with my 300-pound Aunt Phyllis." And I think that's just the best line ever, because there's no way people are going to look at that and say, what the heck's going on? And of course they're going to be hooked to it. They're going to listen to the rest of the song. So yeah, best song lyric ever. Have you ever done a question from Admiral Mason? Have you ever done a triple backflip into a girl before? I have never done more than a single backflip, and only then on a trampoline, so I guess I can't say so. No, I'm afraid not. Is Big Time Cover a cool guy? Definitely, yes. In fact, I'm surprised his channel hasn't reached, 50,000 subscribers or whatever, just like all the other YouTubers, because he actually interacts with his subscribers and stuff. Does streams and actually knows them and stuff. So yes, he is a cool guy. What is your attitude toward hackers? Ban. I think that's my attitude. Just ban all day. I think that hackers can buy the unban and play legit and then start becoming an active community member who's, helpful and not a hacker anymore. I also accept that the majority of cases are not like this. I've taken to the habit of stalking people who I ban if they buy the unban, and it seems like a large majority of them wind up getting banned a couple days later again, just because they haven't kicked the habit. It's kind of sad, but I have the feeling that people will stop doing that eventually because they will have actual incentive to keep playing. Who is the best admin? That's not a question I could possibly answer because all the admins have different roles and do different things within MCPP. So I have probably conversed the most with Wiki, definitely, in fact, yeah. So I think as far as who's done the most for me and everything is definitely Wiki, but that doesn't mean that everybody else isn't doing important other things such as coding, which I know virtually nothing about. I couldn't tell you a Java from a C++. What do you do outside of MCPP? That's a good question. I do quite a bit outside of MCPP. I'm a full-time student, as I think I mentioned before. I do have a job. I'm an RA in a college dorm, which basically means I'm there to help people if they need something relating to the dorm, if they get locked out of their rooms, if they're needing some kind of emergency attention. I'm prepared to handle those situations. I also play a lot of piano. I think I've also mentioned that before. Currently I'm working on Franz Liszt's Mephisto Waltz. That's going to take a while for me to learn because it's a pretty challenging piece. Let's see, I also like reading fantasy. I just started, what's it called, Game of Thrones, that series a few days ago, and I haven't had much time to read it, but that's something I'm going to really make some progress on over winter break, because I'm going to go to Hawaii for winter break, so I will be pretty much lying around on a beach the whole time, reading books such as Game of Thrones, so I'm really excited for that. I got a whole 2 weeks of doing that. What is the most basic thing you have never learned how to do? I think the most obvious answer to that, to me, is tying a tie. I never learned how to tie a tie. I have very little occasion to tie a tie. I think the last time I wore a tie was to a funeral a little over a year ago. And then before that, it was probably, a year before that or whatever. So I really don't wear ties very often. I don't dress up very often. So that is not a skill that I've managed to learn or had a real reason to learn. If I were Hakluk for a day, what would I change or do differently regarding MCPP? The first thing I would do differently is I would have pretty much zero knowledge of code, so pretty much everything that Hakluk is responsible for doing would all of a sudden not get done. That's the first thing I would do differently. I don't know if there's anything specific I would change. I understand that a lot of people are upset right now about players not playing on our servers and stuff. And I can't really say too much about that, other than you guys need to be patient, and we have some really cool stuff coming. Pretty good question here. What are some improvements you have seen to MCPP over the year? I think that the most significant improvement that I've noticed is that we have a lot more staff now than we did before. Previously, we would have, I can't remember the size of the last staff list, but I remember that we had maybe a third of the number of people we have now. And I think that a lot of those people were inactive too. So right now I would say that our staff is doing a much better job banning hackers than before. And I think that's been a very consistent improvement. It seems like it's just getting better and better and better. And I know you guys might not seen that because you see a lot of hackers, and there are always going to be a lot of hackers, unless, I can't think of a way to solve that problem. I'm sure if there were a way to solve that problem, we would certainly do it. But yeah, that's one of the improvements. Another improvement is our hacker report system. At first, it was kind of rocky because it took a very long time for us to get to your hacker reports, and I understand that. It was a problem, and I think the main problem was that there are some of you out there who report who give us legitimate reports with video evidence, and then there are maybe 100 times that number of people who give us reports which are complete crap, which have absolutely nothing in them other than, like, this person was hacking, please ban. Okay, I can't do anything with that because there's no video. So basically we found a way to separate reports which have videos from those which do not. Reports which do not have videos will not be checked, and reports that do have videos will be checked. Reports that don't have videos just kind of serve as a flag on people's accounts, so we'll be able to see how many other people have reported that player if we're looking through the reports, but we won't actually look through the actual reports unless they have video evidence. I think my personal favorite improvement to MCPP was MC Smash, the new game mode. I know a lot of people don't play that now, but I personally think that it's our best game mode. Not the best in terms of how many people play it, but the best in terms of how creative is it, how well coded is it. It's a kind of thing it's a very, very skill-based game. And that's not so much the case with other game modes, because when you're in Hunger Games, you can have a team of 5 and win much more often than other people. And then, it's like there are so many ways to have an unfair advantage there. But with Smash, it's just raw skill. If you've got high elo, it's because you have, either you hack or you have good skill. And very few people manage to get away with hacking on Smash, because we have, the moderators play it a lot, and we catch people very quickly there, usually. What's the stupidest thing people get mad at me for? Banning them. I mean, if I ban them, they were cheating, they get mad at me, that's stupid. It's even stupider if they buy the unban and then hack again 5 minutes later. That happens every week to me. Because as I said, I stalk people who I ban and who buy the unban. So people who get mad at me for banning them a second time because they're still cheating, like, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm trying to make the servers better, and not banning you would not accomplish that. So, right. Can you please show us your face? Yes, I can, but you didn't ask me to, so I'm not going to. What is something I'm 100% sure wasn't going to happen, but then did wind up happening? Interesting question. I would say that I've grown accustomed to having a certain amount of ambiguity with pretty much everything that happens in life. So to say that I 100% anticipate something is very difficult to do. I mean, I 100% expect the sun to rise every morning, stuff like that. Stuff that happens, it's just, we know it happens. But as far as, like, being 100% sure that I'm going to get staff on MCPP, false. I actually never thought that my chances were very high for that. I was quite surprised when Wiki invited me. So I don't know if I can think of something that I was 100% sure wasn't going to happen that did wind up happening. Because I'm rarely 100% sure about anything. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found that, at least a little bit entertaining and hopefully informative as well. And I hope I answered all your questions. It's possible that I missed some, but I hope I didn't. If I missed your questions, ask me in the comments or whatever, and I'll take a look at those. One question in this video, which I deliberately avoided, was how I got mod, and a lot of questions about how to become mod and stuff like that. I'm not going to answer that now. I'm going to make a separate video about that later on when the time is right, but I don't think... yeah, I'm going to hold off on that for now. I think I was working on something with Alpha Quark for a bit. I think he's going to make a video about the do's and don'ts of becoming mod. It looks pretty fun. So I'll let you know when that happens. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you later.